Hello everyone, my name is Alberto, welcome back to my channel. In this video I wanted to show you how to make a welt pocket. I took a random piece of thin cotton. I did put adhesive in the back just to make it easier to work with, and in this case I traced what would be our pocket. It's just a random line, but obviously you would have measured it and decided on your pattern. And then on another piece of the same fabric, I traced two rectangles, which are, in my case, 2 centimeters extra on each side compared to the original pocket line. And depending on how tall you want to make the welt in the welt pocket, you're going to decide how to make the strips. In my case, I doubled them, which means they are 4 centimeters. So I'm going to fold them in half and press them really quick. And just to show you, because I keep forgetting, this is the pen I use always to trace my stuff. And look what happens with some steam. It just disappears. It's basically magic. Any erasable pen should act the same way. Anyway, back to the pocket. We're gonna keep pressing our two welts, and we're gonna place them with the cut line towards the center, because we're gonna turn them inside out. And then I'm gonna pin them in place, making sure that's the actual end and start of the pocket. So you can mark them on top as well if it's easier for you. And then onto the sewing machine with a straight stitch. We're gonna start from the beginning of the pocket. We're gonna stitch exactly in the middle of the strip. This is very important. And we're just gonna sew a straight line to the bottom. It's important that it's exactly in the middle, because otherwise it's gonna turn and either be too short or too long. It might overlap. Also in this case I made it with a double welt pocket, meaning there's two, but you could do only one, or you could add a flap as well. This is the most common generally. Anyway, once we did our two seams, I'm gonna mark it here again just so it's easier to understand. You don't really have to mark it in the end, but this is the two ends. I'm gonna mark the center of our seam. This is where we're going to cut to open it. From the back, you could do it from the front as well. And then we're going to establish a random number. In my case, I usually do 1.5 centimeters from the end. And from there, we're going to cut at an angle just because it gives us cleaner edges. And then we just cut our pocket open. Good trick to avoid cutting the welts is, I'm going to show you here, basically lifting the welts with your fingers in the back, like so, to make sure that you only cut the fabric and not the actual welt, like so. And when we've done that, we're just going to turn them inside out, pushing the extra bits inside. And we're basically done. Now all we want to do is to give a quick press, and we're going to block the edges. And to do this, we're going to flip this part, and we have this little triangle. We're going to make sure that the welts underneath are nice and together, there's no gap. And we're going to do a small seam just to block it on both sides, and this is going to ensure that our pocket stays nice and stable. After that, depending on what you do, you could do a series of things. You could top stitch the pocket all around. You could add a flap, which I would add after, just for ease and because it's easier to make sure that it looks proper. And you could add, obviously you want to add the actual pocket behind it, which is going to be made in a different fabric, usually. And then you just need to iron it and press it a lot to get rid of all the kinks. Now this muslin does tend to crease a lot, so it's not the best fabric to show, but if you were to do this on a coat or pants, obviously you wouldn't actually see the bit of the pocket underneath. But yeah, this is it. If you were to do an actual pocket, another thing to do would be probably to do either a loose zigzag or to close the pockets until you're finished the garment, and that's just to keep it in place. Basically you do it hand stitching, again very loosely, and that's it. This is how you make a welt pocket. So this is the back. Again, you would add the actual pocket, stitch it there, the pocket sack, but yeah, that's it. It's really simple, takes a tiny bit of practice just to get the corners right, but it's pretty fun. I also do it very tiny for buttonholes on coats. I really like the look. But yeah, this is it. So I hope you liked it and it was useful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!